It cannot get any better than watching a little kid know that their mom is safe and that they're safe.
I'm from Afghanistan. I was born in Kabul.
And the family escaped from Afghanistan to Pakistan when the war broke out in Afghanistan.
She was living in a refugee camp and knew that her really only way out was to marry someone that could get her out of that camp.
He came to Pakistan and we got married, and then after that he brought me here.
When they came to the United States, he changed.
The husband would not let her go out of the house, would not let her take English classes. He was extremely jealous.
Maybe because of the age was too different. He was 63 and I was 23.
He would threaten to have her deported.
Constant beatings were very common.
Big problem, I don't have no family here.
Did not speak the language, did not know what the laws were in this country.
When she became pregnant with her second child, he would get so upset with her that one day he threw a teacup at her.
And I was bleeding all over, like my head.
Pieces of the glass fell onto the nursing child. The child started bleeding from the head.
But he closed the door. He doesn't let me to, go out.
The very next morning, the beating continued.
He was eating me like a crazy. And my son was crying and no help because he closed all the window.
Beating her with his fists into her stomach. She was 4 months pregnant.
I was just thinking tonight is the last night in my life and my baby's life.
She endured and endured the beating until he finally went to the bathroom. At that point, she saw an opportunity. She grabbed her child and with nothing else, escaped from the house.
I was without the shoes and my son was without the clothes.
A woman was kind enough to take her to a DMV where they were able to find somebody who spoke in her language.
She explained everything and I was bleeding all over and they took me to the hospital.
At that point, she was referred to a shelter and the shelter made contact with the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles.
So they helped me a lot and they find me the person to speak my same language.
The first thing we did was accompanying her to the criminal hearing in which she testified against her husband. After that, I helped file for immigration papers.
As soon as when I get my green card, I was able to go get my Social Security and then I was able to go get my driver license.
We are able to help her with benefits so she has a means of feeding her child, with housing so that she doesn't have to be out on the streets.
In retaliation, the husband accused her of neglecting the children, and the social workers took her children away while they were investigating the case. Ultimately, the family law court granted her divorce, and she was also able to get custody of her children.
I moved from here to Modesto, like San Francisco somewhere, just because I was afraid of my ex-husband.
After a while, it became too difficult for her to be all by herself with 2 children.
And unfortunately, he found her and began calling her and telling her that he had changed.
Victims of domestic violence very often go back to their abusive relationship.
Farah also got back together with the abuser and got pregnant with a 3rd child from him.
She has her child and continues to suffer from beatings.
And he threatened to throw acid at her.
And I'm in the freeway with one of my friends, and my ex-husband is following us and he keeps saying to us he's gonna kill me and he's gonna kill my friend today.
His brother called the police, reporting that he actually had a gun and that he was intending to go kill Farah. And he was convicted and jailed for 6 months.
So far, almost like months ago, I don't hear nothing from him.
A couple of weeks ago, the husband was released from jail.
He knows where I work, he knows where I live, he knows where's my son's school, he knows where's my babysitter.
The fact that her abuser could still find her at her community college and chase her on a freeway remains a fact of life.
I'm always afraid.
Legal aid is not just providing the legal services. They're really looking at the person and trying to respond to their needs in a much more holistic way.
At LAFLA, we have developed a group of social workers that work in-house to help victims of domestic violence that teaches them the skills to survive without that abuser.
Couldn't even dream, one day I'll become, having my own life with my 3 kids. I'll become independent.
She has gone back to school. She's in community college, and she's also working, taking care of herself and her family.
She is the one who's in control now.
That's the fun of all of this, is seeing people discover the power that they have within themselves.
The story of Farah, unfortunately, is not unique.
At the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles, we see over 14,000 clients a year. And through that work that we do on individual cases, it guides the policy work that we do at LAFLA.
Partnering with LAFLA on one of or more of the cases that they do really gives private lawyers the opportunity to help people who may be at the very end of the line.
We have many law firm partners, community partners who work day in and day out with us, and we simply couldn't do it without them.
In the end, I know that I made a difference in somebody's life, and that makes it all worthwhile.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Believe me, Legal Aid is my family, and I'm glad now I have, thanks to God, I have everything.